All right, guys, I'm AOA. This is AOA The Shed. Today we got DjNephew.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Soundbar Studios, for giving us the setup. Shout out to them. Take us back, man. Where were you early on in your life? Childhood, state, parents? Give us all of that.
Right. Starting off, man, I was originally grew up down in Mississippi. I moved around a lot as a kid. My mom was just one of those people who was just, we're going to pick up and go. So I moved around a lot as a kid, but I've always came back to Fort Wayne all the time. I was an athlete. I started playing sports probably around the age of 8, and I wasn't supposed to be playing sports because my doctor said you couldn't play sports because of your asthma.
Oh, damn.
So, I had to beat the odds on that and was like, nah, you ain't gonna tell me, you know what I mean? So, I ended up playing baseball, ended up playing travel baseball, became a good baseball player, ended up playing football and getting into that type of lifestyle. And I became real good at football. So I ended up moving back here in 2008. So I moved back to Fort Wayne in 2008, and I went to Prince Chapman Academy, and I played football for them. And then I just kind of went on throughout to 12th grade. And then after that, it was just kind of like, do the little college thing. And then that's when I kind of figured like this is something, college ain't for everybody,
What was your moment?
What was my moment as far as like going into DJing?
No, well, just deciding like college wasn't.
So around the time I was in college, my mom had ended up getting sick. Rest in peace to her. My mom passed away when I was 23, but I kind of just like said, I'm cool with it. But I've always had a thing for music, you know what I mean? So I used to sing in a choir at my church from like the age of 11 to, just moving back and forth from the age of 11 to 14. So I always had a thing for music. And then when I got in high school, I kind of started wanting to throw parties. So I started throwing house parties with my cousins and stuff like that. And we started off with just a 6-disc CD changer. And I would download all the music from, LimeWire, them old websites you could download from. So I downloaded from them, and we just put all 6 CDs in and just let it play all night. And it did a thing, man. So after that, I knew like I had to do something with it. So I ended up going to a club underage. I was underage, like 20 years old. And I went to the club and I saw a DJ DJing. And I was like, yo, man, I want to get into this. You know what I mean? So I ended up going the next day using my first Walmart check. I used to be a cart pusher at Walmart. And I had my first check, and I spent my first check on the computer, HP. It's an HP, and I bought a Mix Track Pro DJ controller that was like $200. And I started with that. And the rest was history after that,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
So was that your earliest music experience when you were going back in the church?
Actually, my earliest music experience was actually having friends who rapped. I had friends who actually rapped when I was in high school. One of them was my cousin, and then I actually met his friends, and they all used to rap. And I thought I was going to be a rapper. I thought I tried to be a rapper. I did it for a little bit, sung and, rapped a little bit, but then I just knew that just wasn't it for me. Mm-hmm. So I was always trying different things to try to figure out what it is that I want to do in my life. So DJing just became easy for me. Like I love it. You know what I'm saying? When you love it, it's not work to you.
Yeah.
So I enjoy what I do, and I've been doing it for a long time. So
if you had to guess a number, how many shows or how many events you've been a part of? Just
Man.
to show your expertise out there for the fans.
I've had in a span of 12 to 13 years, I probably had over like 200 gigs. I've worked at probably like 9 or 10 clubs here. Even when they changed the name to them, you know, I've DJ'd there. So it's just been an experience with all of that. So I love it, man. I love it, man.
What's some of the highs that you get from being a DJ? Is it because you can control the crowd?
For sure. Being able to control people's mood is like, for one, it's a job. You know, you gotta be able to read the crowd. But I just love seeing people dance from my art, because that's what DJing is to me. It's an art. You go home, you create, you make mixes, you know, and to see that it's actually working, it means the most. So yeah, I enjoy just being able to make people happy and dance while I'm DJing. You know.
Yeah, that's crazy. To have a career that long so far, to be able to bring you back in, I'm excited for you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Can you talk about the South a little bit and the difference it is?
Okay. So I grew up in a town, it's Batesville, Mississippi. Originally, I'm from Fort Wayne. I grew up down south. So I wanted to clear that out so everybody know. Originally, I'm from Fort Wayne, born.
Okay.
Grew up down south. Yeah. My family is from down south. So down south is different. You know, it's not a lot of things there. Where I'm from, brick roads, dirt roads, there's not a lot going on. So all you have is each other. Everybody knew each other. You had one school. Went like from pre-K all the way up to 12th grade. It was just one school, one Walmart. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like the unity of it. Everybody sticking together. It wasn't too much trouble or drama, but like people just kind of was together. I loved it. Just growing up down there, being outside all day. You know, we had like local softball tournaments and stuff like that. So it was just a lot of unity in the city, in the town where I'm from. So that down south was just the best thing that could have happened to me.
Yeah.
And then I lived in Memphis, Tennessee for a year. That's when everything sped up.
How old were you?
I was 12 when I moved to Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee.
What was your experience? You said everything's faster.
Yeah, everything's a lot faster. The culture of the music was a lot faster. Back then, people was listening to 3 6 Mafia. They was listening to all the Memphis rappers that was like popping back when 3 6 Mafia was in the game. It was hot down there. Like, it was just a lot more different. It was the drug game, the gangs, everything was just fast.
Was it front and center?
Front and center. Like, the moment I started living there, my actual middle school, they had a middle school and a high school, but the high school was actually on First 48, you know.
Oh,
it was like, it was really like that down there. So you get introduced to a lot of things very early on, you know. And, you know, I wasn't my family at the time wasn't wealthy. We didn't have no money. You know, we was dirt poor, you know what I mean? So I had to do what I needed to do out there just to get to where I needed to be, you know. I had to take care of home. So it was definitely like a learning experience to where I had to grow up fast.
How did you adjust? Was it an easy one for you? Like, was it?
No, it wasn't too easy, man. I'm going into a whole another state where people I don't know. So like there's a trust thing, you know. You don't know who to trust, but definitely it made it harder. It made it harder for being an inner city kid there and just trying to make it. You know, you don't get a lot of opportunities there. Now you may, you know what I'm saying? Because it just took a long time for that culture to get back into the groove. But Memphis is fun, man. They have a street called Beale Street. So, like, a lot of times people go on Beale Street, and that's just where everything at. You'll see kids backflipping for money. You got food. You got, you know, amusement parks type of stuff like that there. So it was just a different experience, you know. And then that's when my mom decided we're gonna pack up and go back to Indiana. So and then that just kind of had to adjust and switch up again. So
How was that adjustment for you? And then what would you describe Fort Wayne?
The adjustment it wasn't too bad because I've been coming here back and forth a lot as a kid. But I would say that Fort Wayne is somewhat behind than other states. Other states, they are like, if you want to talk music, they already ahead of the game. Sometimes we receive things a little bit later here. Even just in the culture wise, it's not so much culture, you know. But also Fort Wayne is a place where people come and settle down with their families and live. A lot of retirees are here. My grandmother retired from General Motors. So, you know, with her retiring there, she wanted to settle here with her family. So that's where the difference is. It's more culture. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot more black people, you know what I'm saying, in Memphis and Mississippi. You see a lot more black people. So you just see your people, and it's just the culture there is just different from up here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it is, man.
Do you plan on moving down there?
Actually, I plan on moving to a place where the DJ scene is a lot more broad, you know. Looking into Dallas, Arizona, places like that, just trying to spread my wings a little bit, you know, get myself out there and network. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the next few years?
Well, as far as DJing, I really see myself doing big stage type of things. I actually have a buddy who's 42 Doug's DJ, and he does live. He does parties where he's just coming in as himself for a concert. Like, you have to get tickets to come see him spin. You know what I'm saying? So it's just him on a big stage, lots of fans and stuff like that, and he just do his thing. Kind of like what DJ Mustard does and stuff like that. And that's the goal I'm trying to get to, is to throw on my own big events, and I'll be the main attraction to get these people to, enjoy what I do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
On top of DJing, do you produce beats as well?
I don't do beats. I wanted to get into producing and stuff like that. I have friends that produce and things like that, but I never had jumped into it. I've always just kind of kept my focus on perfecting my craft with DJing. Will I love to get into producing and engineering? Of course. I feel like that's going to elevate me as a DJ, and to be able to produce and make beats for people. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to doing something like that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let's say booking a DJ, how easy or how hard it is when people make decisions like that? And then what do you do to sell yourself more compared to other DJs?
Well, with today's world, man, like, social media is like, it's the wave right now. If you're not, posting your work, sometimes, like I always say, your work speaks for itself. Some people come and book me. I sell myself by making videos, snippets, reels, anything of that such nature to get people to see how I do things. And they usually go off of that, like, hey, man, I seen your video on TikTok and we want to book you. I've been booked off TikTok. I've been booked off Instagram, like things like that. When you put your work out, it'll come back to you. You know what I'm saying? But promotion never stops. You have to promote every day. Just one post. You can post one time, you can post multiple times, but every day sell yourself. Sell your work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how long have you been a barber?
Ooh.
What led you to that career?
Barbering came around at about 16. In my grandmother's garage, I started cutting all the guys around the neighborhood. And I actually picked up a pair of clippers because I had dreadlocks, you know. And so I got tired of going to the barber shop. I was like, man, look, I'm gonna go get me a pair of liners. I'm gonna just start lining myself up. And then one day, it's a funny story. My mom has short hair, and she used to get cut and lined up. And she was like, hey, son, you know, come give me a lineup. This is my first time ever touching. My mom was probably my first client. I pushed my mom's hairline all the way back. And I almost gave up because I was like, yo, you know what? This might not be for me. But I just kept on doing it as a hobby. And then the jobs I started working at, I started getting clients there. And then I jumped into a barber shop and started doing my thing. And I've been doing it for ever since then. About 7, 8, since I was about 16. Professionally in the shop, I've been doing it for 6 years. Yeah, so that's been an experience. I love it, man.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. You have an entrepreneurship about you. Where did you think you picked that up on?
Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay. Yeah.
That goes back to Memphis, Tennessee. One thing I can say about them, they make gritters. Okay. They make hustlers there. Like, it's either you eat or get eaten there. That's just what it is. So I brought that mentality here. But also my mentor, shout out DJ Pup Love, Mike Johnson. I don't know if anybody know him, but he told me one thing, man, having 5 hustles, you'll never go broke. So I always put that into my work. You know, okay, well, I need another hustle. One fall off, I pick up another one. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be... You need 5 hustles with this economy nowadays. So I just always kept myself where the money was at. So that's just where it is.
What all would you say you do besides DJ and barber?
So I DJ, cut hair. I went to school for culinary arts.
Hell yeah.
And then I do massage therapy. And then, you know, other stuff just be, you know, maybe just selling clothes or selling shoes or something that I have. Or, you know, just keep a little hustle going. Other than that, yeah, that's it. Or I keep a job. You know what I'm saying? But I had decided to be a complete entrepreneur 3 years ago.
What led to that decision?
Being fired from General Motors. Yeah, so I worked at General Motors for 7 years. And I decided, it's a sister company. I ain't gonna say General Motors. It's called Avance. It's called Avance. But we work with GM.
Okay.
And I did that for 7 years. And I was working there. I was union rep and everything. And then one day they just let me go. You know, they let me go. And I said from there on out, I won't work no job again. And I said, I'm just going to put all my energy and all my money and everything I'm invest all into DJing and invest into cutting hair. And that's what I've been doing for 3 years. And it's been a journey. It was tough at first, but we here now.
Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. Shit, even then, you've always had multiple hustles even before when you...
We're going to figure it out.
How much sacrifice do you think you've had?
A lot, man. You sacrifice time with friends.